If you'd asked me a week ago whether Caitlin Clark would ever play anywhere outside the WNBA, I would have said not a chance. Despite the inconsistent officiating, the cheap shots, and the non-stop media drama, Caitlin has always been loyal to the league. She turned down unrivaled twice. She turned down the Big Three. And with 8-figure endorsement deals from Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm, she doesn't need to chase every dollar thrown her way. But a new development could change everything. A Saudi-backed global basketball league, codenamed Project B, is coming. And they're reportedly going all in on recruiting top WNBA players with massive offers. Naturally, that includes Caitlin Clark. Now, there are some big numbers being floated out there, and I'll get to those shortly, but here's the truth, I think she'll be offered far more than what's being reported. The track record is there, the funding is there, and the justification is rock solid. For the first time ever, Caitlin might face a real decision. Stay the hero the WNBA needs but doesn't deserve, or finally get paid what she's truly worth. I'm breaking it all down, what Project B actually is, the power players behind it, and the 5 reasons Caitlin just might say yes. But first, hit that like button if you think Caitlin should take her talents beyond the W, and drop a comment with your prediction. Alright, so what exactly is Project B? It's the code name for a new Saudi-financed global basketball league that's been quietly in development for the past 2 years, and it's the real deal. The league was founded by Grady Burnett, a former Google and Facebook executive, and Jeff Perinis, the co-founder of Skype. Together, they've assembled a serious lineup of investors, not random venture capital guys, but people who actually know elite sports. Their backers include US Open champion Sloane Stephens, Hall of Fame NFL quarterback Steve Young, tennis legend Novak Djokovic, and former WNBA star Elena Beard, who now serves as Chief Basketball Officer, meaning she'll oversee the basketball side directly. And they're not playing small ball. Project B has already made it clear they'll pay multiples higher than anything women's sports have ever seen. Burnett's team is reportedly telling investors they plan to pay 10 times current WNBA salaries, and for Caitlin Clark, it could be much, much more. And while those numbers might sound wild, they're not out of character for Saudi-backed sports ventures. Cristiano Ronaldo, $700 million. Neymar, $300 million. And let's not forget LIV Golf, which completely disrupted the golf world with contracts that nobody thought were possible.
And Saudi Arabia has gotten more and more involved in sports over the past decade. Probably the biggest league that they started was LIV Golf, which directly competed with the PGA and also stole some of the biggest PGA golfers because they were able to offer them insane contracts. Like the #1 LIV Golf player earned $300 million, Phil Mickelson earned $200 million, and the list goes on.
As for the format, Project B is structured as a 6-team league, with 11 players per roster. The season will consist of 7 tournaments, each lasting 2 weeks and hosted across Asia, Europe, and the Americas. Here's the kicker, the league runs entirely during the WNBA off-season, a 14-week window that doesn't overlap with WNBA contracts or training camps. On paper, that means top players could technically compete in both leagues. But let's be real, that would mean no time off, no recovery, no break between seasons. And for what? A fraction of the money. I just don't see players grinding through 2 leagues back-to-back for a tenth of the paycheck. In fact, if Project B ends up offering 7-figure contracts, I wouldn't be surprised if they make it a condition that players can't play in the WNBA. So double-dipping might not even be an option. Either way, I have no doubt that many WNBA players will jump at the chance to finally secure the kind of financial stability they've always deserved. Right now, under the current CBA proposals, the Supermax, the absolute top salary a WNBA player can earn, is projected to be around $850,000. The veteran minimum, roughly $300,000. Now, imagine you're one of those players making $300K, and someone comes along offering you 5 to 10 times that amount, for a shorter season, with luxury travel, 5-star accommodations, and world-class facilities. That's not just tempting money, that's life-changing money.
Candace Parker's involved in this, folks. Candace Parker's involved in this. You don't think she's talking to Aaliyah Boston during the podcast? Hey, AB, I got this thing. I know you're getting paid this and Unrivaled, but we could pay you this over here. I'm sure she's having that conversation. I'm sure she's having that conversation with a lot of players in the WNBA. The question is, how much are they offering, and will they jump ship?
I completely agree. It's going to be tough for players like Sophie Cunningham to turn down that kind of money. And there's another layer to this, equity. There's talk that Project B will actually grant players ownership stakes in the league. That means instead of just collecting a paycheck, they'd own a piece of the business, something the WNBA has never offered. That's a game changer. And according to several reports, some players have already quietly signed on. Nothing official has been announced yet, but it's happening behind the scenes, and now, we're starting to get an idea of who's doing the recruiting.
And I'll tell you this. I signed a deal with Amazon, to broadcast for Amazon. I got a text from Adam Silver saying congratulations. I had my third child. I got a text from Adam Silver about my third child. Now, whether this is Adam or his assistant, somebody from the league office is reaching out to me. I got a baby gift for my third child. I get a Christmas gift from Adam Silver every year. I retired. Adam Silver sent me a text message that basically congratulated me on my career and how much I've done for the women's game, and he looked forward to how much I'm going to do from the sideline. I have not heard from Kathy.
When LIV Golf launched, they had Greg Norman, a retired golf legend who knew exactly how to hit the PGA where it hurt. For Project B, their version of Greg Norman is Candace Parker, and that's every bit as dangerous. Because Candace isn't just a Hall of Famer. She's one of the most respected and influential voices women's basketball has ever had. And lately, she's made it very clear that she's not thrilled with how the WNBA is being run. Candace has openly called out league leadership, including Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, for being out of touch with the players and disconnected from the realities of the game.
At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Kathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them.
And Candace hasn't been shy about how players have treated Caitlin Clark, either. Her message has been simple. The WNBA needs to be about business first, not egos, not politics, not personal beefs. And that mindset lines up perfectly with what Project B stands for. This league is designed to grow women's basketball globally and to make its players wealthy. Candace isn't just another name on an investor sheet. She's an ambassador and potentially the recruiter with direct access to the game's top stars. Which brings us back to Caitlin. There's zero doubt that Project B is going to make her a massive offer. The only real questions are how much, and will she take it? Now, a lot of people say no. They think Caitlin's too loyal, too brand savvy, too invested in the WNBA to walk away. But I think there are a few key factors that most people are completely overlooking. Here are 5 reasons Caitlin Clark might actually say yes.
There was a time when Russia paid Diana Taurasi to only play in Russia. So she skipped an entire year in the WNBA because Russia was able to pay her a salary that basically kept her out of the WNBA. It kept Diana Taurasi out of the WNBA, and then when she came back, it didn't harm her leg.
It's worth remembering that Diana Taurasi made her fortune in Russia, took a year off from the grind, and when she returned, her legacy was untouched, still the GOAT. If Caitlin Clark were to take, say, $200 million over 3 seasons and return to the WNBA at 27, still in her prime, she could easily build a US-based legacy just like Diana did. Sure, she might lose a few American fans for joining a Saudi-backed league, but many others would love seeing her stand up to the WNBA and finally get treated the way she deserves. To be clear, we don't know if she's leaving or what the final offer looks like, but we do know the WNBA is a mess. The league has mishandled her, alienated her fans, and Commissioner Kathy Engelbert's future may not even survive the next CBA. If leadership changes or the CBA collapses, the league could face major disruption, right as a Saudi-backed global league with limitless funding waits in the wings. And when that kind of money enters the conversation, players go where they're valued. Unrivaled won't survive it. The WNBA won't be able to compete. Project B will throw everything, and the kitchen sink, at Caitlin Clark, and unless she says no immediately, it'll be hard to turn down a potential 9-figure deal. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would she take it? Should she? The WNBA season might be over, but the drama is just getting started.